welcome back to the second episode of the CMSV show. I'm your co-host, Matt Pincus. I'm here with Adam Krieger.
What's going on?
So today we got a very exciting episode. Rangers are pushing for a playoff spot, looking to keep in contention, looking to get that second or third spot. So we either get the Capitals or the Penguins. Then we got Adam's spot. Adam, what you talking about today?
I got a lot. We're gonna do some MLB lockout update. Got some. There's a wrestler who won Virginia State Championship with no legs. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah, crazy talk.
All right.
And we got a good top five today. Oh, and then we got to talk about. Of course, we got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. A little bit of football. Aaron Rodgers and Brady, the quarterbacks of our lifetime. What they're doing next and what they're doing now. So we got jam-packed show. It should be good.
All right. And also top 5 New York sports jerseys.
Of course.
It took us a little while to get together, but it's here.
The reason why we're late, but it's all good.
And real quick, wanted to thank everyone for tuning into the first show, and hopefully you will continue to tune in every week around. Oh wow, it's 12:30. We usually start around 12. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties today, but
as usual, wouldn't be a show without tech difficulties, so we're good.
All right, so let's jump right into it. So, Rangers, baby. We got the Capitals tonight. I'm going to see that game in person. Got to see Panarin pop off. Hopefully Shesterkin's on his game tonight. And, this definitely an interesting week for the Rangers. Coming off of the All-Star break, it came out very, very slow, which was not ideal for us. But, our offense wasn't clicking. We have, I want to say like 5 goals in 3 games, which is just unheard of because in the beginning of the season, we were scoring that in 1 game. But, now it's looking like we definitely need to move someone. We need to get some guys in. Third line is absolutely atrocious. Julian Gauthier, Philip Cheadle, and Dryden Hunt is now the third line.
Just not getting it done, huh?
No, not doing it. Cheadle, I've been a big Cheadle fan all my life. I love the kid. He's a big dude, good centerman, but he's just not producing what we need. This kid, Julian Gauthier, if he could shoot the puck, would be better than Ovechkin. That's my hot take of it.
Wow.
But, just can't finish.
We're not poking the bear at Russia today. Come on, Matt. Come on,
we
Matt.
have, what else we got on this team? This guy creates so many chances. He's so fast and just can't hit a net. Ryan Strome against Detroit absolutely dekes out the goalie, has an open net to put it into,
Whiffs.
rolls it wide.
Tough.
Absolutely unbelievable. We wound up losing that game in the shootout, 3-2 for the Red Wings. That's a game that I feel the Rangers should take all.
You had a right pick about that though. Wow, who'd you say was going to score? And he scored, right?
Zibanejad.
Yep.
And I think I said Fox with 2 assists. He only had 1 though.
I can't say that Zibanejad. Oh, there you go, Zibanejad. Say that 5 times fast, you'll be all right. Yeah, I mean, it's been a Rangers they went from being like the darling team of NHL, like no one's expecting them to make a run this year, and now you're talking about how they need to make moves at the deadline to stay contenders. I can't. It's what a fall from grace for that team.
Hey, I mean, going through these hard times the last couple of years, having that nice little letter that they gave out to us telling us we're going into a rebuild, and then what do you know, about a year and a half later, we got Panarin, Lafreniere, Capo Caco, who, other than Panarin, don't really produce enough.
Yo, I saw someone on Twitter, I guess it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I saw it from Kane's Twitter, but it was the Rangers trade where they got D'Angelo from Arizona and the 7th overall pick that year. Who was it?
Lias Anderson.
How's he been?
He's another one like Kravtsov, was in the system for 2 years. He was playing in Sweden at the time. Tried to make the jump into the NHL. I probably saw him for 15 games in the beginning of one of the seasons, and then all of a sudden went back to Sweden. Didn't want to play for the Rangers. We sent him out to LA, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know. LA's doing pretty good, but I don't see him in the lineup. So
yeah, the consensus from Kane's Twitter was that I'm trying to find the tweet right now, was that the Canes won the draft because they had 3 of those 4 players. Yup. Okay, here it is. So this was June 23rd, 2017. The Rangers got D'Angelo in the 2017 first-round pick, which was the 7th overall, and the Coyotes got Stepan and Antti Ranta. Well, Ranta's a stud right now. Him and Anderson are locking down the net in Carolina. I mean, D'Angelo did just get hurt, but
I honestly like D'Angelo. I didn't think.
Did we talk about this last week where how they just hockey just says upper body, lower body injuries? Was that on the show? We'll never find out how hurt he actually is until after the season, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, D'Angelo. If we didn't have Adam Fox, shout out to the Canes for that one. But
yeah, I don't think you shout out the Canes for that one. That's all Adam's Fox.
Yeah, that's all Adam.
That dude was all.
Yeah, Calgary. He went drafted by Calgary. Didn't want to play there. Traded to the Canes.
Didn't want to play there.
Quick little 2 second-round picks, and we have a Norris-winning defenseman in his second year in the league. Shout out the Canes for that one. Thank you so much.
Nah, I think I'm team F Adam Fox for that one. That was it's just so fucked up. It's so messed up the way they do that nowadays. Like in the NHL, you never see anything like that. Like you drafted, you play. You have your RFA years. You play for wherever you know. If the team matches your offer, they match you. They give you the offer sheet, whatever it's called. You never see people turning down 2 teams. Like, listen, if you're going to Canada, fine. You want to pay Canadian taxes, whatever. It's a little more understandable. But it's Carolina, bro. Like, it's a good up and coming team. Nope. And now look at them now. They're arguably one of the top 3 teams in the NHL.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Now he's going to be trade bait maybe for the Rangers. Who knows?
Who, Fox?
Yeah, no. He's not trade bait.
No way. He's never leaving this organization. He's, Rangers have 7 alternate captains, haven't had a captain since Ryan McDonough. I just don't understand. Chris Kreider has really stepped it up this year. Mika Zibanejad's also in that conversation. Obviously, I love Adam Fox. In a couple years, once either Kreider or Zibanejad starts to fall off, I think that's Adam Fox with the C on his back, or on his chest, should I say. But I'm looking for a big night at a 93 tonight. Mika Zibanejad always just has something against the Capitals. I don't know what it is. Watching the game a couple years ago, he scores 4 goals in the 3 periods and then wins it in overtime at 5 goals, tying a Ranger record for goals in the game. Absurd, I wish he played like that every night. Always takes Mika, 30 games into the season to be like, I play hockey. I can shoot the puck into the net. But, he's a great player for the Rangers. Him, Kreider, and Lafreniere on that top line. Obviously, Lafreniere is not producing like I wish, but, he's playing. He has good efficiency on the ice, plays good defense. His skating, not his strongest suit, but his playmaking is very good. Being on that third line that I was talking about before, Dryden Hunt slipped in there instead of Lafreniere, but playing with Cheadle and Gauthier, this kid could have had like 30 assists in the first 10 games, but, Gauthier can't hit the net. Cheadle is just awful. I don't understand. But now he's playing with Kreider, one of the top goal scorers in the league, playing with Mika Zibanejad, one of the top centers in the league. You just hope for the points production out of it, but we're not really seeing it at the moment.
So who do you want them to trade for?
One guy was looking into heavy, Tyler Toffoli from Montreal, who just got traded to Calgary. Big guy, adds a little more grit to the lineup. Can score the puck too, but he's out in Calgary right now. Who has a pretty good team this year? I think they have a pretty good chance coming out the West. The West is stacked more than they have ever been. I think even Edmonton is Edmonton, but you see Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in the playoffs. There's a good chance they're putting in at least 1 or 2 goals in a night. But then who do they have on defense?
I don't know. I know McDavid's a stud, but it's so. I mean, this may be a little jump in the gun. Maybe we're jumping the gun a little bit, but who are the top 2 teams in the West? Who's playing in the Western Conference Finals to go to the Stanley Cup? And we can do the East too.
This is tough. I have a top 4. Definitely, you got to throw Calgary in there. I would say St. Louis. Definitely the Colorado Avalanche. I'm a huge Nathan McKinnon fan. That man is an absolute beast. He's got let me check how many goals he's had.
I know the Avs are studs this year. Yeah, the Avs have been really good. It's funny. I didn't know about the Blues being sneaky good again.
Oh yeah, I feel like in the last couple of years, ever since they got rid of Pietrangelo and TJ Oshie, that was a while ago, but
that was a long time ago. They won a cup after they got rid of Oshie.
Yeah, You know, that was also a crazy season. They were last in the league coming in on New Year's Day, and then Jordan Binnington decided, you know, I'm just gonna be prime Lundqvist.
Dude, some people like
I
guess that kind of just kind of goes to show like sometimes coaches really make a big difference. Like I go back and forth, and this is obviously like maybe it's a little bit more important in hockey than it is in other sports like than baseball, but like coaches really just change the dynamic of a locker room. So
100%. But going back to Nathan McKinnon, one of my favorite players in the league. You know, if McDavid didn't exist, this kid is number one in my book. But, you know, 36 games played, 12 goals, not too shabby. But he's got 36 assists. He gets an assist basically every single game. He's absurd, you know, coming from the same hometown as Sidney Crosby. That kind of helps working out with him every summer. But that kid is just, he's absurd. He's so fast on the ice.
Kid.
Sid, not my favorite player. I respect him, though, but I love Nathan McKinnon. Great player. And then the last team I have in there is the Vegas Golden Knights.
I think they need to go. Is Leonard still their goalie, right?
Leonard just got hurt, too.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's been a little shaky. He's been shaky the last month or two. I know, obviously, he was a great goalie for the Islanders for a little bit, and he's Robin Leonard for a reason. People tried to sign him, but, yeah, this hasn't been his best year, I'd say, probably, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, getting that Jack Eichel trade through and now having, you know, we're going to have another Tampa Bay situation here where in the last couple of years, you know, Kucherov got hurt, put him on long-term IR.
So how do they fix that? You just got rid of like there's got to be some sort of salary cap hit for long-term IR right now, or
yeah,
like,
I mean,
what's
that's
the
what
solution?
they're going to have to implement. But you know, putting someone who's making $10 million a year in hockey, that's a huge amount of the salary cap.
For
you know, putting that player on IR, and then at the trade deadline, Tampa balled out last year. They wound up being $18 million over the cap in the playoffs, which is absurd. You know, that might be Vegas this year. You know, they just got Mark Stone going down, which is one of their best players, definitely their captain. And, you know, they're putting in Jack Eichel, you know, second overall pick in 2015. And that kid is insane once he gets going. You know, he's healthy now.
Dude, hockey media loves that guy.
Oh, he's a great player. Honestly, you know, there was a lot of stuff going around that Jack Eichel might have gone to the Rangers. And at the time...
Was that just in your brain or no?
No, I mean, I was seeing a lot of it on a little Twitter. But
on the Twitter sphere?
I was personally not in with that. I didn't want that. Jack Eichel makes a lot of money. You know, having two... I mean, he's a center. Panarin's left wing. But having... You know, Mika Zibanejad now makes, what is it, $8 million, $9 million? Adam Fox, we just signed him up for $8 million too. There's just no way we're going to keep all those players if that Jack Eichel trade went through. So, cap hell, that's just something I would kind of like to avoid. So that was a good no move by the Rangers. But, you know, now he's out living his life in Vegas. You know, he finally got that surgery that Buffalo was pushing for him not to have, because they knew he would have been back and he would have been on top of his game.
So why do you think Buffalo didn't want him back? Because they didn't want to pay? Like what? Like they're obviously not a great team. Like he was obviously a top 3 player in the league right now, or like at least a top 3 name. Why wouldn't they want him back?
I think it was more of a, I guess like a locker room kind of attitude thing. You know, playing in that city in Buffalo and having, you know, those years that they had. You know, getting the Jack Eichel with that second overall pick. Obviously, they were robbed not to get Connor McDavid in that. The Oilers jumped from, I think it was like the 6th spot, hop in there and get McDavid. But it's just, they haven't gotten any better. They've probably gotten worse by the years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it sucks when you have such a great player like that and you can't really build around him. But, all right, before we move on from hockey, give me your top 3 in the East.
Top 3 in the East. Ooh. You see, I'm not going to be biased here. I'm saying, obviously, Tampa Bay is a force to be reckoned with every single year. The Canes are absurd this year. And then, you know, going back to Florida, the Florida Panthers are also absurd this year. One guy that I love on their team, you know, used to be a Ranger, Anthony Duclair. That kid is a lightning bolt on the ice.
He's a defenseman, right? Duclair?
No. He's a left winger. He plays up on that first line with Huberdeau and Barkov. I mean, it's hard not to be good at hockey playing with those two guys, but he finally, found his feet in the NHL, and I'm happy for him. I thought he was going to be a great player for the Rangers. We traded him out to Ottawa. Ottawa is another garbage dump of the NHL at the moment. And, he had a couple tough years out there. Might have went to another team after that, but then he wound up going to Florida, and what a match that was. Big ups for him, finding that home. And, honestly, last year, the best series in the playoffs was definitely Tampa Bay and Florida. Having that Florida matchup, there was a ton of hype around that. Every game was packed out. The energy was insane. Sitting on my couch, I could feel the energy. And, honestly, I think that if they won't be able to meet each other in the Eastern Conference Finals, that would have to be a Metro team. But my pick out of the Metro, Eastern Conference Finals, I'm saying Florida Panthers, Carolina Hurricanes, with Panthers advancing.
Dude, if the Hurricanes make the Stanley Cup, I am going to be insufferable. I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah, I mean, and then just like last little side note, playoff hockey is the best. Anyone who says it's not the best playoff sport, you just haven't watched it long enough, or you just don't. Like you said, you could feel the energy from anywhere you're watching, whether you're watching in a bar with no audio. Like, the guys hit harder, the shots are faster. Like, everyone skates a little second quicker. Like, obviously, playoff football is awesome too. And playoffs in general are just great for anything, but except playoff basketball. The first round of playoff basketball is just meh. But yeah, I mean, they freaking fly around in hockey, man. They love it. So
yeah, it's so great. Playoff hockey is definitely one of my favorites. And one thing, like, going off of like playoff sports, not I used to play baseball when I was little. Wasn't like I loved baseball. Wasn't a huge fan of watching the games. I got a little ADD in me. Couldn't sit still to watch 9 innings. But playoff baseball is fun to watch. Even going to
playoff baseball is number 2. It goes hockey, baseball, then football, I guess. But I mean, playoff football is also awesome. But I mean, this year, the early rounds of football had a bunch of blowouts too. Like, those weren't fun. But obviously, once you got to the end of the conference divisional rounds, like, we had 8 straight games, and then the last, it was like a walk off, or it all came down to the last play. So, all right. Anything else? Anything else with the Rangers?
I'm very excited to hear about this no-leg wrestler.
Yeah, I guess we'll start with that. I gotta find his name. So he's from Virginia, won the 106-pound state championship, which I think is the lightest weight class to have down there. He has no legs. He was born with one leg, without one leg at birth, and then he had one quick removed from the thigh down pretty soon after, or maybe like midway through the thigh. And it's part of why wrestling is the best, because all shapes, all sizes, you get a chance to compete. You're not going to be outsized, outmatched, anything like that. However, people love controversy. Now, wrestling Twitter was like, oh, this is an advantage for him. Like, he's so much stronger than everyone else. He doesn't have legs to defend, which is a big part of wrestling. If you're familiar with wrestling, you basically, in order to get a takedown, you normally grab someone's legs and you go behind them. And that's the most layman's terms way to put it. But so he's got no legs to defend. He's 106 pounds, but his upper body looks like he's probably like 165. So when he snaps you down, he grabs your neck, you're getting snapped. And for other guys at 106 pounds, they're probably like, I don't know, like 8th graders, 9th graders, like a small sophomore is making 106. This guy's a senior who's strong as heck, and he'll just snap you down. I mean, we've seen it before. Anthony Robles from Arizona State won an NCAA championship with one leg. He beat Matt McDonough. I think that was 2011, 2012 maybe. And even back then they were debating if that was like a fair competitive advantage, because someone else where that guy was also probably, his upper body strength is probably the upper body of like a 170 pounder. But it was absolutely insane. It's obviously an awesome story. Like, the gym went nuts. They had almost 500,000 views within the first, probably within like 48 hours on Twitter. For wrestling, that's absolutely insane. But yeah, I mean, people just love to, rain on people's parades. Like, the guy won a state championship in wrestling. Something I wish I could do. It's probably something that everyone else commenting wish they could have done. They're like, oh no, like, this is why he did it. This is why he did it. Obviously, like, there's some you can have if you lost to him. You have a true gripe, because you don't know. You obviously, it's very unusual to wrestle someone like that. It probably happens maybe once in your life if you're unlucky. But honestly, the best way I saw someone put it was like, if you don't think this kid wished he had both his legs, then you're a moron. So let him go win the state championship, and like he's gotta live the rest of his life with no legs, and he's got a huge trophy and a bracket at home. So, yeah.
Also, real quick, just found it. Adonis Lattimore.
Yeah, I should have wrote it down. Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the picture of him. I wish we could pull it up on OBS right now, but we're not touching it. We had too many technical videos the last 2 days, so last 2 shows. So we're not going to. I'll post on the Twitter once we make that. Yeah. So crazy story. People just I mean he's shredded.
Does he have one hand too?
What? Yeah, he's got one finger on one hand. Sorry, I forgot. Big part of that I missed. He's clearly had a tough life, but that's the best part about wrestling is the great equalizer. Like, you know, all shapes, all sizes. You know, he makes 106. He went out there and beat, and obviously much less tough men have lost and come before him. So I'm sure he's got the heart of a lion, and congratulations to Adonis.
Yeah, congratulations. That's absolutely absurd, and I'm speechless. I don't watch too much wrestling, but I have watched a little bit of it, and I think I have an understanding of the sport.
Yeah, in terms of wrestling, like the fact that SportsCenter tweeted this out and Instagrammed it was kind of all you need to know. Like they're never posting any other state championship stuff this weekend, or throughout the year. So it made obviously national news.
I feel like if you see anything posted on SportsCenter that isn't basketball, football,
if it's not basketball, even baseball, like right now, and we're gonna get into the baseball in a little bit too, but it's basically NBA and it's whatever products they put on their platform. So it's, you know, they have NHL now on ESPN Plus, but you know that rarely gets any shine on the main feeds. Yeah. All right. So, congrats to Adonis again. Now, the 2 greatest quarterbacks of my lifetime: Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Brady obviously just retired a few weeks ago. That was a whole controversy. I wish we were. What, you don't think he's retired?
I don't know.
He's someone, and I've kind of got back and forth on this because I think I was similar to you, where I don't think he's retiring, but he's not someone who's going to come back in the last week of August before the season starts. It's like, you know what, I'm going to play like that. He's someone, if he's going to play, he's going to start working out yesterday. You know, he's going to start working out the day after the Super Bowl ends, probably even before the Super Bowl. So I don't know if he's going to come back. He's going to come back for like a full season. He's going to do OTAs, off season, all that stuff. But anyway, so Rodgers, everyone was expecting him to make his announce his retirement yesterday on the Pat McAfee show. That did not happen. Instead, he went on like a 2-week cleanse. I've heard some rumors of what this type of cleanse does. All I'm saying is it revolves around basically not eating anything except rice, vegetables, and ghee. You know what ghee is? It's like a fake butter or like a natural.
Interesting.
I've heard the butter goes in weird places, but that's why I cannot confirm nor deny that. Anyway, everyone thought he was going to announce his retirement on the McAfee show yesterday. That did not happen. So we don't know if he's retiring or if he's going to get traded, like what the deal is with him. I think the craziest part about this is that everyone thought he was going to Pittsburgh or Denver because of his girlfriend, Shailene Woodley. She did a bunch of stuff. She's a pretty famous actor, probably arguably more successful than him. Listen, he's only got one championship ring.
True.
But I think, I don't know, he put this crazy long Instagram post, 4 or 5 slides long. He thanked her, and then maybe they're still together. He kind of left he was very cryptic about it on the McAfee show. But so I guess we're officially on Aaron Rodgers' watch. Sources saying that it's either Green Bay or bust. He didn't announce his retirement the other day, so I don't know if he's actually going to retire. Now, Tom Brady, the true best quarterback of our lifetime. 6 championships. Obviously, the GOAT's GOAT.
Eli Manning. Trying to throw that out there. 500
quarterback. Yeah, obviously what Eli did was incredible, and no one's going to take that away from him. I was a Jets fan living in New York. That was insane. We were all Giants fans for a week. We were all Giants fans for a week because everyone hated Tom Brady back then. But I did, towards the end of his career, after the 28-3 comeback, I did full turn on him because it's hard to hate on greatness. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he's retiring. We knew he was kind of going to do the media thing. He had Tom versus Time, the ESPN documentary that was coming out throughout the season. 10 episodes. The last episode didn't come out once he said he was going to retire. Then it didn't come out, and then it did come out, but I've never even seen it because it's behind a paywall. Which I hate paywalls. That's a conversation for a different day. But now he's making a movie. He's the story of 4 guys that traveled to the Super Bowl in, I think it was in the 28-3 Super Bowl. I think that was in Houston. I don't remember. But he basically was making a movie about it. He's going to produce in it, and he's going to star in it. And now we've come to the point where Tom Brady is going to be on every TV screen, every movie. He's going to be in everything. He is like arguably one of the biggest athletes of our entire life. It probably goes in terms of like name, image, likeness, Jordan, Brady, LeBron, in that order. Just of like the most dominant athletes. Like their names are everywhere, their faces are everywhere. And for someone who wears like a helmet when they're playing their sports, it's incredible to have your brand be so big. Now, yeah. So, I mean, we see it all the time with hockey. Like hockey players wouldn't get recognized, even in like Boston or New York, where they actually care about hockey. Like I'd say like 7 out of 10 like Bruins fans wouldn't recognize some of their guys without a helmet on. It's just the way it is. If you're not wearing a jersey and a number, that's just the way it is. Versus in basketball or baseball, where it's just your face all the time. There are no helmets, no pads. It's the actual size. So, yeah. So I guess we're on the lookout for the Tom Brady movie, which will be coming soon.
Yeah, one of my neighbors, shout out Vin Velasco, huge Tom Brady fan, and actually not huge Tom Brady fan, but he's a Pats fan. These last couple of years have been so great to rag on him. Not that I'm the biggest football fan, but I love watching the Pats lose. So that was always great.
A lot of people do. I do too. As a Jets fan, they destroyed me for damn near 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it happens to the best of them now. Coming against one of the best systems in NFL history, one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, being the Jets. That's just 3 things working against you at all times. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be crazy. I was hearing a lot about the what was that on? Was it HBO Max, the Brady show? Or,
I think it was on ESPN Plus maybe.
Okay, yeah,
Brady Tom versus Time,
Plus.
yeah.
Yeah, I was hearing a lot about that. Never got to watch it myself. I probably might take a look into it this weekend. Got some free time, but not a huge Tom Brady fan. But like Adam said, you just can't knock greatness. One thing that's huge for me, I love soccer. Huge Manchester United fan. So Ronaldo is my man, but Lionel Messi is just a different breed. I didn't get to watch him in his true prime. 2012 around there. Started watching it about at the 2014 World Cup, but I'm a huge Ronaldo fan. I'll take him any day over Messi, but that man is just absurd. He's not
crazy that he's the most. He's crazy that he's the most followed person of all time on Instagram.
God, what does he have, like 400 million?
I think he's got like 450 or 405. It's probably more than all like the other major 4 sports combined, like in the United States, which is absolutely insane. We grew up. I mean, at least me personally, I grew up in obviously America, where we don't really give a flying, about soccer. For at least the way I was raised, and like I played football, obviously, and my circle was like that. I didn't understand how popular he is and soccer is until I got a little bit of culture in me, and I stopped reading just football articles and stuff. And I checked Instagram, I was like, holy cow! But I think I'm Team Messi over Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo's been caught up in some stuff, huh?
Yeah, especially now playing with Manchester United. Ugh, awful. Yesterday, this man, he played at Real Madrid, a team called Atletico Madrid. I would say this is like Yankees, Mets, Real Madrid being the Yankees, having that huge history, got all the money from everywhere. And then, you got this not small club, but smaller compared to the big brother that you have in your city. And, Ronaldo has absolutely owned them over the past. He moved to Madrid in 2009. He's been absolutely destroying them since 2009. It's been almost like 13, 14 years at this point. And, a couple years ago when he made his move to Turin to play with Juventus, Juventus was definitely not a good team.
they were all right. Having Ronaldo, obviously, that just makes your team 10 times better. But Champions League, I want to say it was quarterfinals. I think the first leg was in Turin. Atletico Madrid go up 2-0, and it just set the timeline for that. Ronaldo getting out of the stadium, getting chirped by everybody, walking past the reporters. 5, you guys have 0 Champions Leagues. Next game, comes in, 3 goals, boom. Absolutely erases Atletico Madrid. Juventus move on, to get knocked out in the next round. But still, that's absolutely crazy. That's something you don't see often. Having that 2-leg kind of game in the Champions League, you don't see a player, absolutely overturn a deficit by themselves. Ronaldo has done this many times. One that I can think of I watched live was Real Madrid versus Wolfsburg in, I want to say 2015, 2016 maybe. Another one, 2-0, coming back to the Bernabeu. Ronaldo just asserts himself as one of the best players of all time. Drops a hat trick with a free kick as the last goal. Oh, amazing. But, that is just the ultimate competitor in my eyes. Like, Messi is probably the greatest soccer player of all time. But, up there with Tom Brady, I think Ronaldo guy just knows how to win. I don't know how he does it, but he always mounds to be in the spotlight, getting that big goal. Even in the beginning of the season, Manchester United in the Champions League looked horrendous. If we didn't have this guy with the number 7 on his back, we would not be where we are now. Guy scored 6 goals in 6 games, carrying us.
This is way more soccer than I ever thought I'd talk in my entire life.
Let's get to the sports jersey then. Don't want to take up too much time.
What are we at?
I think we're at like 30, 40 minutes.
This isn't the bottom.
32.
Perfect.
Not too bad.
Type
right.
45.
So, on the next segment, we have the top 5 New York sports jerseys. We have them compiled. We have a little of all the sports, throw in a little extra one for my lacrosse lovers out there. So, first up.
Yeah, Matt did 5, 3, and 1. I did 2 and 4. And next week I'll do 1, 3, or 5 for whatever the top 5 is. But before we get to that, actually, if you have a suggestion for what our next top 5 should be, let us know. Ooh, it looks good. It looks good on the screen. I'm watching.
So, we have the Syracuse lacrosse jerseys. So, for people that don't really play lacrosse or have watched too much lacrosse in their lives, this kind of jersey is weird. It's something that you don't see. This is, I would call it a penny jersey. It looks like a tank top jersey, and then you have it's called a shooting shirt. Under it, on Nick Mariano's right arm, you can see that 3. It's a 2-3 for his jersey number. But that is just the most comfortable jersey that I've ever worn in my life. I had one of those for my travel ball in high school. In lacrosse, having that arm movement. One thing, if you have big arm pads, it's kind of hard to move your arm. That's where your shot is coming from. So having that little, just the cutoff on the shoulder, having that little shoulder movement, I think is just
a quick little side note on that. Normally, the way you practice and what you play in. So why would you practice in pennies and not play in pennies? What's the logic behind that? You should bring that up with your coach now. You guys play in jerseys, right?
Oh yeah.
If you practice in pennies,
mm-hmm.
Disaster. I just don't understand it. It's such a big difference in even in football. You wear looser jerseys when you're practicing, and that's just dumb too. Then you're practicing holding people and you're getting tackled by jerseys and stuff. Meanwhile, when you play, you got your jersey. You need 3 help. Need 3 people to help you put it on. So I don't understand. All right.
And also, one thing that I was just thinking about with that, also with Christmas Day in the NBA, they have obviously they have the sleeveless jerseys all year long, and then once the Christmas jersey started coming out, I think it had to be 5, 6 years ago at this point, they started coming out with the sleeves, yeah. Yes. And I remember, not being the biggest NBA fan, I remember seeing a lot about, the players didn't like it. It restricts their shoulder movements. Even, it's cloth. How much could it really restrict you? You don't know until you play.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I guess in basketball they wear shooting sleeves all the time, so it doesn't really make a huge difference, but it definitely is something I just don't understand the logic behind practicing in something different that you play in.
I definitely agree with that one. All right, so next up at the 4 spot, we have
we got the Liberty jerseys. Now I was gonna go with It didn't change on the screen.
Oh, it didn't?
Wait, maybe. Oh, there we go.
All right,
Yeah, so I went with the Liberty jerseys. I was looking for a Knicks alternate. Obviously, the Knicks have another one of the NBA's longest teams. They have like a pretty standard jersey, but I was looking for their alternates, and to be honest, I'm a sucker for the teal. I know the ad space on the jerseys kind of throw it off a little bit. You know, we got the HSS logo in the top left, and then or top right, and I don't know what the other logo is, but obviously these jerseys are for equality. They have a dual meaning, and of course you got the AT&T on the back of Sabrina's jersey. But at the end of the day, I just love the teal. It's a cool color, especially it's a spin off of their typical like blue. It's just a fresh jersey overall.
Yeah, definitely. Also, what you were saying, love the teal. Looks very nice.
I'm a sucker for a nice teal. That's kind of what it is for me. That was why it stood out. And you'll see with my number 2 overall selection, I have 2 types of uniforms that I like. No spoilers. We'll get to it.
So next up at the number 3 spot, you alluded to this before. We have the Knicks, the New York Knicks. So we have the Knicks City Edition jersey. I really like the, I guess it's on the sides. It's supposed to be like the New York City skyline. Honestly, not the biggest NBA fan. Beautiful jersey, though. This is definitely something that I would purchase, wear around, just to have. It's a very beautiful jersey. Love the orange and blue. Anything on that?
I mean, it doesn't look like a skyline. I do like the jersey. I think it's funny that they retired these jerseys when Porzingis left. But, yeah, I mean, my one critique is if you're going to do a skyline, like New York City skylines, you got to be a little bit better than that. But, yeah, I mean, I think this was the first year they started putting ads on it. You got the Squarespace logo on the top right. It's a cool jersey. I like the color. I like the idea. Could have pulled off a little bit better execution.
All right. And with the 2 spot.
My favorite jersey of all time. The Mets just brought him back. The All Blacks. It's my captain, captain, Mr. David Wright. I mean, yeah. So if I was doing this top 5 jersey myself, it would have been basically 4 out of 5 would have been All Blacks. I'm a sucker for black on black. A sucker for anything. I just like this idea. This is from 2009. You can see they got this Citi Field brand new patches on his throwing arm. But yeah, I mean, I love the black jerseys. They were retired for a while, but Steve Cohen, the new owner of the Mets, made sure he heard the fans. He wanted them back, and that hat is also just so clean. It's the hat I wear. If I'm wearing a hat now, that's the one I'm looking for. The black with the blue logo. It's just so fresh. And then, of course, my boy David Wright, the last captain of the New York Mets. I miss that man.
Yeah, honestly, being a Yankees fan, I grew up with Jeter, but. David Wright was also just an absurd baseball player. And, going off of what you were saying with that black jersey, it just looks so clean. Same thing, like, if we really put what we wanted to, we'd probably have 1 to 5 just be black jerseys because it just looks so clean.
I don't know why, what it is. I like white on white and black on black, but this Mets jersey is arguably one of the best jerseys of all time. And if you don't play MLB The Show, you'll have no reference to what I'm talking about, but these jerseys in the game are like 25,000 stubs, so they're probably like arguably the most expensive jersey in the game because people love it. And so I spent not real money on it, of course, can't play, but I do make sure I rock it. So it's the best baseball jersey I think of all time.
Also, going off this one jersey that I absolutely love in the NHL this year, but the New Jersey Devils, I think it's their reverse retro jersey.
Don't tell me it's the one that says Jersey on it.
I love the idea. Execution wasn't great with jersey along it, but I definitely love the black on black look. I hate the Devils with burning passion in my heart, but the colors that they're working with are insane. Black and red obviously look fun. They look perfect together. Those are probably 2 of my favorite colors. Good thing I'm a Rangers fan, but that jersey it looks nice. I can definitely say. Alluding to a little hockey, not to be a little biased, but, in the first spot,
I love these jerseys, too.
We have the reverse retro Rangers jersey.
I feel like they haven't worn this one in a while, have they?
I think they wore it last season. It was big in the NHL. I don't think they've worn it at all this season, actually, now that I think about it. But going off of that, it is beautiful. I definitely, I haven't got a Rangers jersey in a couple of years, but when I do get one, definitely getting number 10, Artemi Panarin, because that thing is beautiful. Love the Liberty. I used to play NHL in, 2004, 2005 with my dad. He used to smoke me every game.
That was the best version of that game. NHL 04 or
they were insane back then. Now, as the years go on, you think that EA would wake up, but they don't. So the games are awful every year. But having that in 2004, I always played with the Rangers. Loved my Rangers back then, and I used to always wear the Liberty jerseys. It looked so nice on the ice. Too bad they were losing 8-0 every game. But this jersey is so clean. I love the little stripe that it has on the arms, the red and white. The Liberty jersey, the Liberty emblem in the middle is just beautiful in my opinion. That is like a true staple of New York. And it's just 10 out of 10.
I love perfect. Love those jerseys.
And there we go. So that was our top 5. Just to run it through one more time, we have Syracuse Lacrosse, the Liberty jerseys, New York Knicks City Edition jersey, the Mets. What do you call that? Like
black alternates, I guess.
Blackout jersey.
The freshest Mets jersey of all time. That's what I call it.
And the number 1, reverse retro Rangers jersey. So, that was a good top 5. I like that.
It was a good top 5. It was a good episode. We're picking it up a little bit.
Week by week, we figured out some technical difficulties that we had no idea about last week. Next week we're going to look into putting in a little intro music. YouTube is a little weird with copywriting. Don't want to get the show taken off before we really get into it. So we're trying to take that a little slow. But, production's getting up there.
No DMCAs on this channel. That's the goal. We're not getting this thing taken down before we even get going. We're trying to get one full semester's worth of podcast before we get our first strike. Then we'll have a good time after that.
Yeah, but, next week, if we're on schedule, no technical difficulties, we will be back live at 12 o'clock on Thursday. And, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Subscribe. Turn on the notification bell if you can. And just thank you for coming out.
That's a pro right there, making sure you ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Like the video. All that fun stuff. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you, guys. Have a good week, and we will see you next time.